Samantha always had a knack for figures and a keen sense of opportunity. Her friends knew her as a charming and savvy young woman who seemed to have everything figured out. She lived in a comfortable apartment, wore the latest fashion, and drove a shiny new car. To everyone, her life seemed perfect. Her boyfriend, Daniel, however, was growing increasingly curious about how she managed her lifestyle. Samantha never mentioned a job, but she certainly wasn't short on cash whenever they went out. Finally, after weeks of internal questioning and hints at dinner, Daniel decided to ask her directly. "What do you actually do for a living, Sam?" he asked, trying to sound nonchalant. Samantha hesitated, her eyes darting around as she calculated her response. "I work with investments," she said finally, smiling as though she had revealed something mundane. "It's not very interesting, really." Daniel, though unconvinced, let the topic slide for the moment. Samantha's explanation didn't quite add up. Her lavish spending seemed excessive for someone simply managing investments, but he trusted her and didn't want to push too hard. However, the seed of doubt had been planted. Daniel's curiosity led him to do some research on his own. He knew some of Samantha's friends and decided to discreetly ask them without giving away his growing unease. They all echoed the same lines: investments, clients overseas, occasional travel. It was a neat story, but it was too coordinated for Daniel's liking. As time went on, more peculiarities began to surface. Samantha would disappear for days without notice, only to return with extravagant gifts or tales of business trips. Daniel, feeling a mix of suspicion and guilt for doubting her, finally decided to investigate further. He didn't want to cross boundaries or invade her privacy, but he felt something wasn't quite right. One evening, while Samantha was out with friends, Daniel took a bold step. He glanced through a drawer in the living room where she kept various documents. There, he found several business cards of people he had never heard of, with titles that didn't quite fit her story. More bewildering were receipts for luxury services with astronomical prices that seemed way above any commission an investment job might offer. Feeling uneasy, Daniel knew he could no longer just wonder. That night when Samantha returned, he confronted her. "Samantha," he said, trying to keep his voice calm, "I need you to be honest with me. The investments, the trips." He paused, meeting her gaze directly. "How do you really make your money?" Her face fell, the confident veneer slipping as she realized she had been caught. She took a deep breath and sat down, her eyes momentarily avoiding his. "All right," she confessed quietly. "I haven't been entirely honest. The investment story, it's only partially true. I do some freelance work that is not exactly traditional." As she spoke, Samantha's voice was tinged with a mix of relief and apprehension. She explained how she worked as a high-end escort for a discreet agency, earning significant money for her services. She never mentioned it, fearing judgment and the possible end of her relationship with Daniel. She loved him, genuinely, but her lifestyle funded by this secret life was something she feared would drive him away. Daniel listened, his emotions a whirlwind of shock, understanding, and concern. He realized the courage it took for Samantha to confess and the fear she must have felt living with her secret. Their relationship didn't end that night, but it did change. Both of them knew honesty had to become the foundation of their bond if they were to move forward. As they talked long into the night, a new layer of trust began to form between them, built on raw truth rather than hidden facades.